The morning light, pale and thin, seeped through the blinds. It painted stripes across the bedroom floor, a familiar pattern that brought a sense of normalcy. He yawned, stretching, another day beginning. The clock blinked 6 a.m., its digital certainty a comfort in the quiet room. He rose, feet sinking into the plush carpet, each step a silent echo in the pre-dawn hush. Coffee first, he thought, a ritualistic need to chase away the lingering sleep. The coffee maker hummed, a comforting sound in the stillness of the kitchen. He leaned against the counter, scrolling through news feeds on his phone, a sharp buzz, then silence. The coffee maker stopped mid-cycle, its display dark, odd. He tapped the power button, but it remained unresponsive. Annoyance flickered, then faded. He just used the French press, a minor inconvenience. But as he reached for the kettle, a low hum resonated from outside. He glanced out the window, searching for the source. Nothing. Strange. He tried to shake off the unease. It was probably just a truck passing by. Yet the hum persisted. A low, constant drone that seemed to vibrate in his bones. He looked again, scanning the street, the neighbouring houses, but everything was still. The air hung heavy, thick with a strange tension he couldn't place. His gaze drifted back to the window. Was there something there? A flicker of movement in the reflection? He couldn't be sure. Paranoia, he told himself, fueled by the lack of caffeine. But a shiver ran down his spine, a primal instinct telling him something was wrong. The insistent hum grew louder, morphing into a rhythmic pulse that seemed to throb in time with his heartbeat. He could swear he heard a faint buzzing, like 1,000 whispers carried on the wind. He strained to listen, every sense on high alert. Shadows flickered at the edge of his vision, dancing in the periphery. He spun around, heart pounding, but there was nothing there, just the empty room, the pale morning light filtering through the blinds. His reflection in the darkened TV screen stared back at him, a stranger with haunted eyes. He was losing it, he thought, his grip on reality slipping. Suddenly a shadow swept across the window, blotting out the light. He whirled around, a gasp escaping his lips. A drone, black and sleek, hovered outside, its lens fixed on him with an unnerving intensity. It was unnaturally silent, its presence a menacing violation. He stumbled back, fear constricting his throat. Who was controlling it? What did they want? He scanned the street again, desperate for an answer, but there was no one there. Just the drone, its unblinking eye boring into him, stripping away his sense of security. He raced to the back of the house, his pulse hammering in his ears. Every shadow seemed to writhe, every creak of the floorboard a whispered threat. He felt hunted, trapped in a nightmare he couldn't wake from. He caught his reflection in the hallway mirror, eyes wide with terror, features distorted with fear. But something was wrong. The reflection wasn't him. It smiled, a slow, chilling grin spreading across its face, and raised a hand, but not in greeting. The reflection pointed at him, a single finger tapping against the glass. Then it was gone, replaced by his own terrified visage. He didn't know how long he stayed there, frozen in place, his mind reeling. The drone, the reflection, the whispers, it was all too much. His grasp on what was real and what was imagined began to fray. He felt a presence behind him, cold and menacing. He didn't dare turn around, terrified of what he might see. The buzzing returned, louder this time, vibrating through the house, through him. He sank to the floor, hands clutching his head, a whimper escaping his lips. He was losing himself, drowning in a sea of paranoia and fear. Then, as suddenly as it began, it stopped. The buzzing faded, the shadows retreated, the presence vanished. Silence descended, heavy and absolute. He remained huddled on the floor, trembling, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Slowly, cautiously, he got to his feet and made his way back to the front of the house. The drone was gone. He stared out the window at the empty street, the normalcy of it all both a comfort and a source of fresh terror. Had it all been real, or had his mind, pushed to the brink, conjured up the entire terrifying experience? He tried to convince himself it was stress, lack of sleep, too much coffee. But the doubt lingered, a seed of unease planted deep within his psyche. He couldn't shake the feeling that he had been watched, studied, hunted. And what about the reflection? A trick of the light, a figment of his overactive imagination. He glanced nervously at his reflection in the darkened TV screen, half expecting it to mock him again. But there was nothing there, only the faint outline of his own haunted face staring back. He was safe for now. But he knew with a chilling certainty that whatever had been watching him was still out there, somewhere, its purpose unknown, its gaze unwavering. The drone had gone silent, but the haunting had just begun. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more chilling tales.